get a piece
Wait
of
a minute. Wait a minute. Go. Go.
Let's go! Let's go! Home run, let's get it.
Yes.
Get him up out
Yes.
Woke up home run in a 10th inning. Let's go, throw your hats up. Look what Pinky got it. They double teaming Trey. Give it to Trey. Give it to Jonte. Pass it over to Bogey. Bogey driving. Give it to Trey. Give it to Trey. Shoot the three. Bang! Let's go, man. Stop playing. He did not put Ritter in.
I'm done. Oh, this mother just put Ritter in? For what? Why would you put Ritter in right now? He know his job is done.
There's nothing finer in the land than a drunk obnoxious Georgia fan.
Oh
Let's go. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Go Dogs. Sickle.
Now you're gonna make me chump. Now you're gonna make me chump.
We ain't gonna tiptoe around the issues.
Remember, we don't do woulda, shoulda, coulda, what up in here.
Barbecue and mildew time. What's going on, guys? How y'all doing, man? Welcome back to another Falcon in review. My name is Larry, one half of the Dixon Way. My beautiful wife Sean's the other half, and we provide you guys with live commentary on all our favorite sports teams. From the Braves, the Hawks, the Falcons, the Dream, the Bulldogs. Hold up. SEC Championship Bulldogs. And my wife Gators. We appreciate every last one of you guys coming through. And in this Falcon review, we're about to review this mess. We are a PG channel, so this mess that we just watched with the Atlanta Falcons taking BTA, that's Belt to Atlanta. Belt to Atlanta happened in the Falcons game. It's such disheartening to see how great the fans could be in that stadium when you got a winner like the Georgia Bulldogs. And then less than 24 hours later, like 12 hours later, you get that mess from the Atlanta Falcons. Who building that? That's their blip. That's their building. And they playing like that. We got 2 wins this season in the Dome. The Georgia Bulldogs got 2 wins this season in that Dome. You can't make this up. But before I go any longer, man, I'd like to introduce a great Falcon podcaster. Does great content. My boy Ryan of the thebirdgangLLC. Hold on, let me go ahead and bring him up. Let's get it, man. What's going on, Ryan?
Big Larry, what it do? What's happening, everybody in the chat? Hit that like button for my dog in here. This man put down great content.
All right, and if you guys don't know, if you're not familiar, Ryan is definitely one of our better podcasters in this business, has great interviews, great insight, and just like his tag is, the historian, he knows a lot about the history of not just Falcon football, but football in general. You know what I'm saying? Across the spectrum, and definitely, and especially with the Falcons though, but throughout, not just Falcons though. And we just wanted to bring him in because we know that this has been a debacle of a season. He has the party line of the benediction. It's been a whole bunch of benedictions and barely any party lines. So yeah, man, just introduce yourself and I want to get your feelings on what happened with this game yesterday, man.
First off, I want to thank you guys for having me on, you and Miss Shonda. Appreciate y'all inviting me in to talk a little Falcon ball with you. My name's Ryan Walker, better known as historian of the Birdcage LLC. We come on Thursdays, 8 p.m. every Thursday. Larry's been in there a few times with us to talk Falcon football, see some interviews and things of that sort. And we also have, as he said on Sundays, after the game, we have a post-game show called either the Party Line or the Benediction. We've had more benedictions and passing around communion juice and the collection plate than anything. Look, we supposed to be passing out hot wings and crab legs in the party line with some confetti coming down. But man, it's been rough this year for the Falcons. But hey man, we got 4 more games and then the pain and misery will be over with.
Will it though? Will it though? But we'll get to that part. Let's tackle the Falcon game first.
Facts.
This Falcon game, first half. What did you see in the first half? What did you like? What did you did not like?
I'm gonna be honest with you. The same thing I see every game. The defense is holding everything together for us as always. In the beginning, they always give the offense a chance to at least try to find a rhythm to score points. The problem that I had was when we get in the red zone, we're very ineffective. We had multiple opportunities in the first half to take advantage of that great field position that the defense gave us, or you know what I mean? And especially with the interceptions that we got and the turnovers that we got, when you get 2 turnovers in that game and a couple of sacks, your offense is supposed to put up points. And you're generally supposed to win that game. But again, I've been preaching this since the offseason. A lot of people gave me grief about it, Big Larry. The offensive line depth is not there. And to me, we don't have championship depth even on the defensive line, because when Diablo was out, we was getting gashed in the middle. You got to get a 300-pounder to play that D tackle spot to take the pressure off these linebackers. And we have to build up depth with this offensive line, because if you know the 17 games is a long season and we got a lot of guys that was hurt and banged up this year.
Yes.
So that was my issue. That's been my issue the whole year. And I can't really be too pissed off because it's the same thing every week. We get bullied in the trenches. I saw it firsthand in the Jets game. When I was in that rain and that cold. It's not the fact that we don't have big bodies that can't play offense, because we're a run geared offense. We just can't pass block.
Yeah. I agree with you, man. I definitely on the trenches is bad. We got a backup guard trying to play right tackle. He was coincidentally the blind side for Michael Penix. Now he's out for the season. Now, Kirk Cousins can see it coming, but it don't matter if you see it coming. If you don't see it coming, it's still ineffective. There's 2 things I would like to touch on that you brought up. Defensive line, linebacker helps, front 7. We let go of Nate Lehman. Nate Lehman is going to be a Pro Bowler this year. Okay. He's won Defensive Player of the Year in the NFC. Defensive Player of the Week like 2 or 3 times this season. And on the offensive side, we let go. We didn't want to pay our center. It's coming off the tip of my tongue. I can't remember his name right now, but we didn't re-sign him, and he is anchoring the Bear. Yeah, Dahlman. Yes, thank you. And see, that's what you get from Ryan. He'll get all those things. You ask him in the chat a question, he'll come off with it like that. We're missing Dahlman so much in the run game, more than McGarry, or equally as McGarry. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of people aren't talking about that. Yes, I think our center has done well in work, but we had a Pro Bowler, you know what I'm saying, a Pro Bowl type talent who was rated, last year by PFF as the #1 center in all the NFL. So those 2 things on the offense and defense have hurt us, and we thought that Troy Anderson could make up for Layman, JD Beltran. Anyway, we figured out that was a bold-faced lie. We figured out that having them two in a lineup was this.
Nothing beats it.
Man, Larry, I'll say this,
Yeah.
man. We were sold a bill of, and here's my thing. Bertrand is a special teams player. I've been saying this all year.
Is
Since
he?
he was drafted. I've been saying it. He's
But
a special
is he?
teams guy. That's his specialty. For me, Larry, I'm gonna be honest with you. I think everything went downhill because right now, think about it. There's two linebackers that we've let go within the past 6 years that are Pro Bowlers and they're leading tacklers in the NFL.
Yes.
Well,
yes.
yeah, Luakon is one.
Luakon,
And
yes.
then you have now with Landman.
Yep.
You got two Pro Bowl type linebackers, and I'm gonna be honest with you. If we were able to move that money around and keep a Luakon, that's your middle backer. That's pretty much your guy. He's doing what Diablo is doing. And no disrespect to Diablo because I like him, but a Luakon is a different animal.
Yeah.
Luakon's a different animal. That's a 4-3. That's a 4-3, 4-4 guy. People don't know that he was a state champion in track. Ezekiel Elliott was his high school teammate before he decided to go to Yale. He could have went to any school.
Okay.
Yeah, they were track. So down in St. Louis, where they ran track in East St. Louis, they were teammates in high school. So Ezekiel Elliott had somebody pushing him every day before he got fat and out of shape. Period. So you let that go, and then you let Landman go. I'm sorry, you let Landman go.
Yes.
But hell, we can even go before that. We ended up letting Devondre Campbell go. So that's three linebackers, Larry,
in a row.
Because Devondre would have been the old man teaching these young guys. We had a lineage of linebackers that could be helping this team out with knowledge and how they see the game and molding these young guys. Now, we did well with Jalen Walker and Pierce being outside linebackers and edge rushers.
Yes.
Did an excellent job. But this linebacker depth is a concern, just like the offensive line depth and also this defensive line depth as well, too.
Yes, I agree with that. And again, guys, that's more nuggets that you will find. You check out Ryan on Thursday, and then on Sunday, pregame, halftime, and the benediction of party line. So yeah, and if you want to go ahead and ride with them in the morning while you're going to work, same thing, bumper to bumper. Get all that good content. So yeah, all right. So we talked about kind of the deficiencies on the offensive and defensive line, choices that, Terry Fontenot made. Those are things that can't be overlooked. Offensive wise, I feel like personally that Raheem Morris basically started his second chance, his final chance at a head coaching job with three incompetent coordinators. If we're going to be a CEO of football and just look over things and make sure people are doing stuff right and be the rah-rah coach, you need to pick some veteran guys, and you share the same sentiment. You got to pick guys that actually have knowledge that can really teach and are not just trying to learn on the job. Heck, they couldn't even learn on the job. The mindset was so backwards that you got Zach Robinson not even calling plays in preseason. This mindset of we good, but then you're going to say in the same breath, well, Michael Penix needs to work on this things, little sly comments once you put Kurt in there. But what's the excuse when the offense is still looking stale? The only thing different is he's on the center more, and I feel like that's Kurt taking the reins of the offense, saying you're not going to have me in the pistol being a target back there with guys pinning their ears back 50 times a game. What do you think about that, sir?
I think the first thing he did wrong was you threw your superstar running back under the bus. That was the worst thing you did. Look, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth, Larry. My mic falling. There we go. My mic was kind of falling a little bit, my brother, so I had to kind of pull it up. So here's the thing. When we talk about how this structure is. First off, there's no accountability with this team at all from the leadership, and
Yeah.
the players are seeing that. And the way that that was described was when the Jets game happened and you threw Bijan Robinson under the bus.
Oh my
That was
goodness.
just like, for number one, look, I wanted Jalen Carter. I wanted a D lineman. I'm gonna tell you that now. Now,
Hand race.
Bijan has won me over because of what he can do. But we're going to run him into the ground if we keep doing what we're doing. And running backs have limited carries. And all the carries that we're giving him, he's giving you everything he has. And you
Yeah.
see it when he runs. And for you to throw him under the bus, it was awful. Now, I told you Kirk Cousins was going to take the reins from Zach Robinson when you came into the benediction. And I had a debate with a couple of people. Oh, well, y'all didn't treat Penix that way. First off, Penix is still learning how to be a professional right now. He don't even know how to do that yet.
Yeah.
It's a lot of little things that he's not doing. But Kirk is a veteran. So I expect Kirk to have more knowledge of a system that he's played in his
Yeah.
whole career. The problem that we have with this system is this. We got a yes man as a head coach. That's for number one. You got somebody tap dancing like Gregory Hines. It's just what it is. It's a family show because it's a term I want to use that I can't. So it's a family
Please
show.
don't. That tap dancing is good enough.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
When you're tap dancing like that and you have a young quarterback that you've done a disservice to by, for number one, y'all don't coach him up on the sideline when he screws up in the game.
Nope.
You don't do it. For number two, Kirk looks to come to you guys and get corrected. That's how you know you got a smart quarterback and a competitor. He wants to know what he did wrong. Now, I know it's still to heck with Kirk, with you, and everybody else that's mad, but I'm looking, the more and more I look into that situation, I'm going to be honest with you, Larry. I really believe it was a lot of dirty stuff that went on that made him get like that with the leadership that we got. Just to be honest, bro. And
Okay.
I'm not advocating for Kirk. I'm not trying to change your mind. But think about it. Kirk, you know, with the whole situation with him, it was messy how it started. The marriage started off messy anyway when we lost a draft pick.
Yeah.
So a lot of people feeling that, and then the documentary came out. I blame Raheem for letting a lot of this stuff get outside to where everybody is in our business, because truthfully, there's a lot of issues in-house that need to be fixed. And the in-house issues are affecting the play calling and the play on the field. Because Ike Hilliard had these receivers balling last year. Say what you want. Almost two
Yeah.
1,000-yard receivers, and you had a slot receiver that had almost 700 yards.
Yeah.
That right there was great production. Mooney was only off 8 yards from 1,000 yards last year. Drake had 1,000. So my problem is, why do you get rid of the man that's producing, helping your receivers produce? And Ike was a great receiver in college and also a good, solid receiver in the NFL for a bit. And you get rid of him. But the problems that you have, Marquise Williams, your special teams coordinator, and your offensive coordinator. And this is what I mean. I'm sorry to go on a long rant about this, but this is the stuff that most folks aren't thinking about. The issue is this. You got two coaches on this staff that are god awful, and Raheem is fighting tooth and nail to try to look right, but he can't admit that he messed up, Larry. How do you feel about this team taking accountability? Because the play on the field is just abysmal offensively at this point. So right now we got to talk about the accountability, what's screwing everything up out there on the field.
Accountability wise, I don't think there is none. I think it's a pass the buck situation. I also feel like it's a how would I say that? It's a Boondocks episode, a homie over you know what. And I just don't I just don't see how you don't lose a locker room when obviously it seems like when people say, hey, I just run the plays that are, you know, put in there. You know what I'm saying? When Drake said it, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, I think people with a brain. We're sitting here on a couch, you in a nice chair. We're sitting here looking at this, and we don't have y'all playbook. We don't know what your strategy is going into the week to attack these teams. All we can do is we can look at a game of our opponent and then say previously and then say, hey, what can we do to exploit their weaknesses? You know, from a fan's perspective, we have guys being paid millions of dollars to dissect things. And Bijan, Drake, Michael Penix have all said we had to scrap this because they did nothing we prepared for. You know what I'm saying? Nothing. So that's a sign of being out coached. You know what I'm saying? The lack of attention to detail or just the cluelessness. My offensive coordinator said, well, I asked the guys, what did you do this? We thought you were going to do this. You didn't even do that. He's like, yeah, we just broke it down to we can't let Bijan beat us. So they're going to simple things, and simple things confuse my offensive coordinator. It's kind of that was alarming, but again, nobody really caught on to that. Now we got 4 games left to go. Raheem Morris said today that he got a vote of confidence from Arthur Blank, saying that Arthur Blank is 100% behind him. You know, we just got to, find a way. You know, it's getting so bad that people are making memes talking about find the way man like he's a superhero or something. It's kind of it's kind of comical, but it's kind of sad too. I just don't see how he hasn't lost the locker room. You got people reporting down there saying that the only one that seemed like they had enthusiasm coming out of the tunnel was Bijan Robinson, the same guy that he threw under the bus. Like I was so heated when I found out that he said, you know, stats are for losers when talking about Bijan's game when he single-handedly kept us in the game. I wouldn't have said that. I would have just said, look, man, we got to find some way to support the best player in the NFL when he has a monster game like that, you know. So yeah, I would have never uttered that. I would have corrected Dave and been like, look, no, his stats were not for losers because we wouldn't have been in that game for not every yard he got. So I would have felt the fence to it. But again, Raheem is feeling the pressure, but he really not feeling any pressure because really and truthfully, he's walking
But Larry,
around.
look at us. Look at this sports media in the city of Atlanta.
Yeah.
First off, this is what I mean when I say see, because me being from Atlanta and I grew up in between there and Jacksonville, Florida, you know, being my other home where I came up through, bruh, Southern journalism is a trip. They want to hold on to being showing hospitality when it comes to these sports teams because there weren't a lot of teams pro teams in the South coming up. So when they got these teams, they wanted to have these organizations look like superheroes. Now, that right there is a trend where people can't talk bad about folks. Newsflash, I live up here in the Northeast. They don't care. They're going to call it like they see it.
Yeah.
I live here in Philly. Think about this, bro. I've seen them run athletes out of this city. You hear me?
Yeah.
Carson Wentz was run out of Philly.
Out of here. Yeah.
Ben Simmons was run out of Philly.
Deuces.
I'm telling you, when I say it's a different breed, until we get more guys like Mark Zeno in charge of handling journalism in the South, it's pretty much gonna be, it's gonna be okay. You guys can get it next year. No. I need you to ask the hard questions that's gonna piss them off. I need you to tell the truth. That needs to happen. But until we get out of this Bible Belt phase, it's gonna always be this way. And like I said, I hold people in the city responsible for this too. A lot of the fans. I call it like I see it. I'm the bad guy. I'm okay with being the bad guy. I tell you that all the time. The problem is half of the fans don't hold his team responsible when they need to, but they'll make all the excuses in the world for everything. But the only time you hold a team responsible is when you're losing a barbershop debate or you're pissed off because they might have lost this, this, and this. No, hold them responsible from day one. Because if it's a pattern that you see, think about this. Habits are nothing but actions that are patterns. That's all a habit is.
Mm-hmm.
Raheem's got horrible habits in tap dancing around questions, telling the truth, and honestly keeping it real on the sideline. This man has lost his team. And Arthur Blank is getting ready to lose not only the team, but a lot of the fan base at this point. And it's just what it is. Like, outside of myself, you, and some others that we know firsthand are real fans, a lot of people are going to stop really dealing with the Falcons because of what Arthur Blank is doing. They're not going to waste their money on PSLs and tickets anymore. And it's going to be a lot of people that just going to not even really show up for this team until there's a drastic change in leadership.
Yeah. Now I'm glad you led me down that.
That's what I'm seeing, Larry, because I know we talking about the team as in the performance on Sunday, but it's just a lot that, like I told you, that we got to start calling out with this front office, because we already know we're eliminated from the playoffs at this point.
Yeah. That's a done deal. That's a done deal. I mean, it was official. It was official. We can't win the division. That's the only way we're going to make it in.
But can we as content creators tell the truth about this team and don't care about stepping on anyone's toes when we tell the truth? Because it's a lot of people that will shy away from you if you start telling the truth. But when you gassing stuff up, they're going to be right. Yeah. Like, no. Can we start telling the truth about this team? The Atlanta Falcons are not a good team, and we are not a good organization. And I still will be here watching them every Sunday, until even with the bad stuff right now.
Yes. All right, before we move forward, I want to say hello to the people that's in the chat. I apologize. Knowing we shout out everybody before we start. My beautiful wife was in the chat. Daniel Berry was in the chat. ATL Enthusiast in the chat. 82 Monte Carlo in the chat. Damon Thomas in the chat. Let's see, anybody else? I see you was in the chat talking with him. Spicy Rice in the chat. Let's go. All right, and BB in the chat. Okay, thank you guys. All right, so where I'm at right now, regardless on how good or bad we are, I'm always going to support my teams, and there's not a lot of people. There's a lot of fair weather fans out there when it comes to Atlanta teams. There's so much stuff to do here, and I think Arthur Blank needs to realize that. The way I feel right now is Raheem is, at least he's acting like, with the defiance of firing his closest homies, Zach and Coach Williams of special teams, he's acting like his job is secure. And I kind of feel like it is, and I want Falcon fans to understand, I don't think Raheem's going anywhere. And not because of performance or anything like that. I think Arthur Blank feels guilty for firing Arthur Smith before the end of his term. I really do. So with this, even though he looks at Pittsburgh with the moderate success they've had on at least making it to the playoffs with Arthur Smith calling plays, and now looking at how poor Zach Robinson is, even if he don't know what he's seeing, he can just go on any podcast and he can hear how majority of the fan base feels about this offense and how it's being ran. And I feel like it's kind of like, man, I shouldn't have fired Arthur Smith 1 year too early. I'm gonna ride it out and at least give Raheem the same 3 years that I gave Arthur Smith. I feel like that is I kind of feel like that's a cop out. I understand it, but I feel like it's a cop out. Terry Fontenot was at the Georgia Bulldog game scouting people. His job should be under fire also because of the lack of depth. And our special teams is horrible because we have lack of depth. Anyone that knows football understands, if you have a horrible special teams, it's a lot of bad coaching, but it's also a lot of bad depth. on your team. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
We got our running back Algier out there trying to tackle people on special teams. That should tell you all you need to know about the Falcons' depth or lack thereof. But yeah, me personally, I don't feel like we're going to fire Raheem Morris. I don't feel like we're going to force him to hire or fire Zachary Rock. Now, the
Well,
special team coach might have to eat it because they're absolutely the worst team in all the NFL. It's absolutely the worst teams in the
well,
NFL. But
look,
I think
if
they're
we
gonna
gotta
fall
eat it,
back on
Larry,
this.
guess what?
They're gonna fall back on the excuse of Michael Penix getting hurt, and that's what I feel like they're gonna do.
But Larry, if we gotta eat it, bro, this is how you gotta look at it. Get your medicine. You see what I got right here? Thank you to the VA hospital. Shout out to my veterans out there. We definitely suffer from enough, but darn it, we suffer from the Falcons. So if I got some veterans that are Falcon fans, talk to your local VA provider and get your medicine. Please get your medicine. Because at this point, you don't need to have all the type of migraines, body aches, and everything that this team takes you through. You
No.
got to understand, they are still gonna get their paychecks on Monday, the day after the game. They're gonna direct deposit hits, whether they in their feelings or not. Guess what? As long as that paycheck clear and they can pay them house notes and the side baby mama notes, they don't care. It's just what it is. But Larry, I want to ask you something because it's something that bothered me about some of the things that I saw, live on the sideline. Because I know you've seen some of this stuff too. But when
Yeah.
you're actually at the game, you see a little bit of the interaction a little differently than you would see
Okay.
on television. When
100%.
you look at that sideline, you ever notice, and it's something I noticed when the offense couldn't get anything going. You ever notice the body language of the defense when they got to get back up and they don't get time to rest, or the offense can't put points on the board after they've given them great field position? Pay attention to your defense,
Of course.
because it was something that I saw with James Pierce Jr. and he was pissed. He was pissed. Like when in the Jets game, we
Yeah.
had a chance to make a field goal and they gave him great field position. The offense couldn't do anything. Parker Romo misses that. I'm sorry, Gonzalez misses that field goal. Pierce grabs his helmet and he just bends his head down, and it like you could see the frustration. You get what I'm saying? And it's not just
visceral,
him. You saw it in a lot of the young players, and I said, "Ooh, this ain't good." And
Yeah.
the sad part about it is you see Raheem on the sideline smiling. Yeah, it's all right. It's all right. And I'm sitting there looking like, wow, you really are slapping your defense in the face, because you have, to me, I'm gonna be honest, even though we dropped in those numbers or whatnot, I think we had the best I think we still have the best defense in the NFL right now, in my opinion,
One of
because
easy.
of what we saw, Larry, easily. And I know the record doesn't reflect it, but it's just something about that unit. And I hope they keep this together and we add a defensive tackle and add depth. But for some reason, I know it's going to be some movement or whatnot with some people. We know it's coming. But from what I've seen, I feel like we've wasted one of the best defenses in the NFL this year. I feel like we wasted it. And how do you feel about having a defense finally, and we wasted the offense? Like how did Smokey say on Friday?
Y'all ain't never got two things that match.
Yep.
That's pretty much how I feel with it, Larry. How do you
that's
feel?
That's exactly all I think. We got peanut butter, no jelly. We got cereal, no milk. You know what I'm saying? We got ham, no burger. Basically, it's concerning. We came into the season all thinking and extrapolating on how well this offense should click with all the weapons and first round picks we have. And could this young defense keep up? Well, Jeff Ulbrich said, hold my beer. You know what I'm saying? Took his hat off and said, hold my beer. I'm going to have these guys flying around. Yeah, it's criminal how poorly coached we are on offense. No plays are married upon each other. It's just calling plays. seems like the only time we have any kind of semblance of a workable offense is when Kirk Cousins says, I'm going to no huddle. So guess what? I'm calling all the plays and we go no huddle. I don't need you. Line up, let's go. That's the only time we seem to go down the field. We went down the field, but then we turned it over, interceptions. And it's just that I personally feel like bad coaching can ruin good talent. I look at the Chicago Bears on how poor they were and how disarray they were. People were calling Caleb a bust already. And you get Ben Johnson, who know what to do with him. And guess what? They are a running team, just like they were just like he was in Detroit. He is using Swift and the other running back, just like he did Montgomery and Gibbs. It's a winning formula, and we have the two running backs to do it. But guess what? We passed on Ben Johnson. We passed on McDonald, who just whooped us. We passed on New England coach who just beat Vrabel. So yeah, man. I mean, look, man. There's a lot of things that should be done. I don't have any confidence that it's going to be changed, to be honest. I will be completely surprised if anything changed. Maybe Zach get fired. Maybe the special teams coach get fired. But again, man, if we come into preseason and none of our starters are playing again, it's just what Grady Jarrett say. You know what I'm saying? He said different year, same blank. So and it's not just the coaches need to be cleaned out, man. This is why I got Arthur Blank and Rich McKay up. Seems like okay, there you go. My bad.
Yeah.
All right, so it seems like I'm glad you led me down that road because it seems like this isn't going to get fixed by just getting rid of Raheem or just get rid of Zach or the special teams coach. This goes deeper than that, man. Because for me, I like to put out a plea to Arthur Blank, Mr. Blank, as a longtime Falcon fan who went to games in Fulton County Stadium, in the Georgia Dome, and now was finally blessed enough to go to Mercedes-Benz Stadium to view a game. We care about this team deeply. In your tenure, we have seen the best of days in the Matt Ryan era. You ushered that. Can no one take that away from you? No one can. You ushered that here. We had our best of times during that time. But right now, sir, we really need you to reassess who is in your inner circle. Who do you listen to the most? And do you need to get another person, another, what would I say, Game of Thrones hand? You need to replace that hand you have right now because Rich McKay is the hand. You need to replace that hand with someone else. It's not this phony, I'm moving him to the Arthur Blank Foundation and he won't have anything to do with it, Greg Beatles. Greg Beatles just a facehead. I haven't heard Greg Beatles say one thing since the press conference when he was announced doing that, outside of handed it over to Terry with the interview for Raheem Morris. Have you seen anything from Greg Beatles?
No, I haven't.
So
and it's sad when you sit back and you look at the man that's in charge, and he hasn't. Here's the thing. We all talk about Rich McKay. We all know that's the issue. We all know that. But the problem is, when are we gonna start talking about the man that's right up under him? Beatles. Beatles is just sitting back in the cut, quiet right now. He's sitting in the cut like peroxide.
I haven't heard him say anything, man.
Exactly.
He's a team president.
And here's the sad part. You would think, and this is just me, Terry Fontenot put his job on the line bringing this man Raheem Morris here. He really did, bringing him here and passing on some of the coaches that we passed on.
Was it Terry? Or was this Rich McKay?
I think Terry is going to be the scapegoat for this, but I believe it was Rich McKay and Arthur Blank that took the safe hire because I said this long time ago. Arthur Blank was going to bring Bill Belichick in here, and he was going to let Belichick do what he wanted.
Yep.
McKay didn't want no problems with that because he already knew that he would have been out of the door. Or Belichick would have told him, guess what? You sit at the top of the throne. You're not allowed to come into my meetings and do this here. I got 6 rings. You only have 1. Really, Belichick's got 8 rings. I'm sorry. So he
with the Giants also. Yeah.
Old boy is 1.
Yeah.
2 is a D coordinator. Yeah. So if you're gonna sit back and talk to somebody, you got to talk to somebody who knows how to build from top to bottom. And at this point, no disrespect to Terry, because I think he did a great job in bringing in some great pieces as in the last 2 drafts when he finally got unhandcuffed. I think he understands how to see talent. I give him that. But when he was handcuffed or whatnot, we all know that those were Arthur Smith picks. We all know this.
Yeah.
But at this point, I'm looking at it from a standpoint of this. You brought Raheem in. A lot of us weren't fans of him because we already knew what he brought to the table.
Mhm.
And I think that Rams Super Bowl put him in the door, to be honest. But he inherited a Wade Phillips defense that was already built.
Yep.
No one talks about that. No one talks about the fact that he had an Aaron Donald that was not developed by him. No one talks about the fact that they brought in a Von Miller on that defense,
And
or a
Ndamukong
Dante
Suh.
Fowler who we had and we got rid of him.
Yeah.
I'm not a Fowler fan, but he showed out there in LA.
Yep.
So
And Ndamukong Suh.
it makes
All
us
that.
look very incompetent at this point, Larry.
Mm-hmm.
Very incompetent. And you would think that Raheem having a second chance, and and I know you got a lot of different viewers, but for me, like you said, the history part of it, and black coaches don't get many opportunities as second chances in the NFL. And I'm not saying this to bring out race. This is just the honest to God truth.
It's honest to God.
Y'all can look at the statistics. Not many black coaches get second chances.
It's the truth.
I can give you a handful of them that have. Not many. Raheem got a second chance because he was horrible in Tampa. But that situation, he got to the playoffs once and then it just went really bad because he was a young coach that really didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
But you would think that having a redemption opportunity, you would take advantage of that. Redemption doesn't just change a man; it transforms who he becomes, and who he walks with.
Well, supposed to.
That's what redemption does. And right now, Raheem's been walking with a lot of clowns. To be honest, he has been. He hasn't been walking with anybody that's gonna pull him aside and say, "Hey, get your stuff together." You know. And I'm just gonna say this, and Larry, you can take it from there. Raheem, you standing on the shoulders of many that didn't get the opportunity to do what you're doing, bro. Dennis Green had to wait for years to get an opportunity, and he called it in his autobiography, chasing a ghost. That's what he called it when he was trying to become a head coach. You see what he did in Minnesota. We actually stopped them from winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, we did.
Because they killed Denver in that Super Bowl if we don't beat them in overtime.
Yeah.
And you stand on Art Shell's shoulders. You stand on Fritz Pollard, who was the first black in the All-American Football Conference back in the day that won a championship as a coach, that got called everything under the sun and still had to play, and guys were trying to hurt him. Like, you don't take this serious.
You have
to.
to.
Come on, man.
You have to take it serious, man. You have to take any opportunity.
And you in the perfect city for this. The city that was one of the birthplaces of the civil rights. Like, dude, do you not know what you have in your hand if you win a Super Bowl here? Like, bruh, they will have a statue of you in this city like they do at MLK right over there at Morehouse. Trust me on that, bro.
Well,
get it together. If you're going to be here for another year, get this together. So I pray and hope you see this.
Me personally, man, I think it needs to be house cleared from Rich McKay on down. Arthur Blank, find someone who can actually build a team that you don't feel like you have to hire the coach. Get a real CEO of the Falcons who knows how to build a team. Let him hire a president which hires a GM, who in turn hired a coach. That is normal. Look, it's your prerogative if you want to have your fingers in it and go ahead and hire the coach. What I'm telling you is right now, Mr. Blank, the common denominator is Rich McKay vetting out all, all the people through whatever firm you guys is using for the vetting. He picks the names, you pick the singular person. As Rich McKay has said, you have picked every person, regardless if you had good intentions or not, sir. You need to hire someone that you trust to be able to build your team correctly. Because right now, if the advice you're getting from Rich McKay has equaled the longest losing streak or tied with the longest losing streak of the Falcons, you know what I'm saying? I can't even say storied career because we don't have any championships. But yeah, we just tied a record of 8 straight seasons without a playoff appearance. When it was much harder to get in the playoffs previously because it was less teams. All right, we're gonna end soon, but I do want to get to this game that we got coming up on a short week after a loss. We got the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We head to Tampa Bay. Where Tampa Bay is obviously every team is licking their chops when they see the Falcons come, but nothing will make them, even happier but to rub salt in our wounds. There. How do you feel about this upcoming game, Ryan?
You want me to lie? You want me to tell you the truth?
Of course, always the truth.
Okay. Nah, because I know we got some Falcon fans out here that they don't mind having some fluff, and I'll give it to them if they can't take it straw and uncut. But I'll be honest with you. I want us to win this game to beat a rival. I want my lick back.
Yeah.
But looking at how ineffective my offense is, Tampa's gonna beat us. I hate to say that, and it bothers me to say that. And I'm probably gonna say that on my show. I'm still gonna pick the Falcons to win the game because I'm never gonna pick against my team. But to be honest, we lose this game if we can't score points. And we saw that Sunday. So if we get that again, we're gonna get the heck kicked out of us. I'm keeping it PG because I know this is a family show, but it's pretty much, it's not even gonna be BTA. Just to be honest with you, Larry, it's not even gonna be BTA if we don't have any offense. If we don't have any offense, that defense has already showed that they'll quit on this team if they're not gonna try. They're not gonna put that effort out there. So if the defense quits in this game, Larry, this gonna pretty much be, boy, it's gonna be as nasty as OJ's ex-wife and Ronald Goldman was in '94 in them pictures. That's how bad it's gonna be.
Man,
you wanted the truth. I'm giving it to you.
What I think about this game right now, if I didn't see the team that we beat in their house, in the Stanks, the Roaches, if I didn't see the Roaches just go there and beat Tampa Bay in Tampa Bay, I would have less faith in this game. But if them Roaches can do it, why can't we do it? Even though I feel like everything we do is very predictable. I seen a couple of people in the chat mention it. Even my wife says like, "Hey, see Charlie Warner go in motion. That's the way we run it." You know what I'm saying? Whenever Charlie in there, that's the way we run it, like clockwork. It's just like, come on, man. Like, we tip our plays so much. How can you be really successful as an offense? The defense can do but so much, but they out there for more than half the game. They get worn out. I got people on Twitter calling out Coach Jeff. I'm like, dude, when the offense go 3 and out, they go for a long drive and the offense go 3 and out again. It gets kind of discouraging. You feel me? You get a turnover right there and you go backwards and got to kick like a 49-yard field goal just to get 3 points. So yeah, man, me personally, I feel like that the team, like Raheem lost a team. That's why you see the defense as we like blanket. It is what it is. They tired. Offense can't move anything. Kirk Cousins arguing with quarterback coach and offensive coordinator on the sideline. It's a mess, man. But guess we gotta find a way. Nah, man, I don't know. Yeah, if we
hey, I got one for you.
Find a way, bro. I mean,
Larry, I got one for you. Here you go. Since you say we gonna find a way, you got that one.
Got him.
You remember that? You remember that historic laugh, don't you?
I'm trying to remember who that
the
is.
$1 Million Man, T.D.W.
Okay, yeah. There we go. There we go. Well, yeah, man. Hopefully, my plea hears the right ears. I know people don't care. Nobody probably never heard of us. But yeah, man. We can't speak for all Falcon fans. I refuse to think I speak for all Falcon fans. All I can tell you is how we as Falcon fans feel here on the Dixon Way, and it's gonna go from anger to sadness to apathy, and you don't want the fan base to get apathetic, Mr. Blank. Now, normally when there's gonna be a firing, he speaks to like 929 a game or 790 zone, whichever one is the high, 680 the fan. He'll have a personal interview with somebody, Steak or Cellini, you know what I'm saying, one of them. He will have an interview with those guys, or it would be with the HAC. There was always an interview to Arthur Blank addressing the concerns of the fans prior to a firing. If you go back and look at it, it's always one. We haven't heard from Mr. Blank. So that's why I think Raheem is coming back, whether everybody likes it or not. Will he fire Zach? Kicking and screaming. But yeah. I think Falcons gonna lose this game, but they probably gonna play their best game of the season. I just feel like that. If they get the doors blown off of them, then that's a true sign that everybody's quit. You know what I'm saying? I think everybody got rabbit's ears right now. They're listening to everything. And if anybody has some pride, they would use it as fuel. Let's see if these guys got pride. That's all you got. You know what I'm saying? But what Marcel Wallace said on Pulp Fiction, you feel that thing on the back of your neck, it's pride. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say the rest. Y'all go watch Pulp Fiction for the rest of that.
Man, it's crazy when you say that, man. When you said Pulp Fiction, I was like, okay, he went back one. Yeah. But pride, this is my thing, man. Pride comes before the fall. Like it says, like the old folks saying, like it says in the good book. But guess what? The Falcons are at that point where we keep falling. But we got somebody in here that has an ego that pride is just not going to allow him to admit that he's wrong. And I'm going to be honest with you. He would get a lot more sympathy and a lot more understanding if he said, hey, y'all, I messed up on my coaching hires. This is what we need to do. And here's the thing. People wouldn't be saying, all right, you know what? We'll give you another shot. Yeah. But right now, folks want you out of here because you can't humble yourself to admit to say, I made a mistake. This is the difference between great coaches and coaches that are bad. Think about it. Bill Parcells said it himself. He said, I made one of the worst mistakes starting Scott Bruner over Phil Simms. It almost cost me my job. He admitted that. You listen to Don Shula. He said it hands down. He said, I should have just went on ahead and had Johnny Unitas starting over the man who got us to the Super Bowl with the Colts, Earl Morrall. He said, I should have started him at that point. Even though Morrall got us to the game, Morrall wasn't ready for that big stage like that. It was just what it was. But the great coaches admit when they screw up. The coaches that are bushwhack league, like Raheem, they're going to continue to live in their, they're going to be great in their own mind while everybody else sees the truth. Tears of a clown.
All
That's
right.
all I got for you, Larry.
There you go. Well, please tell the people where they can find you for this great content and wisdom. Go ahead, Ryan.
Man, we definitely appreciate you for having me on. Before I give you guys my show that I do with my magnificent birdcage crew, please hit this like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, do yourself a service, because Larry busts his tail day in and day out to provide great sports content and commentary for those of us that sometimes can't get the games. So y'all make sure that y'all take care of this man, because he takes time away from his family and actually has his family involved with giving you guys great entertainment. So make sure that you take care of Larry and the Dixon Way family with this right here. You can catch us every Thursday at 8 p.m., but we're probably going to do a show Wednesday because the game is Thursday at 8 p.m. On YouTube, the Birdcage LLC, myself, the historian, and the magnificent Birdcage crew. We'll have that going. And then on Sunday, we always have shows before the game, but we'll probably just do a pregame meal show. And depending on what time the game ends, we might not have a late evening show. We'll probably might do that Friday, but please tap in with us, because the regular scheduled programming is Thursday at 8 p.m., every Thursday at 8 p.m. And then on Sundays during the season, pregame show, halftime show, like Larry was saying, and the postgame show, the party line of benediction. The Birdcage LLC is where you can find us. Larry, thank you once again, my brother, and continue
No
to keep
problem, man.
doing great things that you're doing.